What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Uh, it's raining, and you know what? It gave me an idea of doing this video. Um, as you saw in the beginning of the video, it was raining. It's still raining. It's thundering a little bit. It's humid. But if you caught in the video, you saw the water catchment systems. And I said, this might be a good day to talk about getting clean water and saving up on water and what we could do. In today's video, and there are other videos out there like this, but this is for my community that may or may not know how to do this. I'm gonna run through it. We spend a lot of money on filtered water, bottled water, and things like that when we should be filtering our own water. We get the Brita pitchers and all of that, and those are great. We get the filters for the faucets and the whole house filters. All of those are great. But what happens when the grid goes down, or if there's a water main break and you don't have any water and you can't do anything until they fix the break? And then even when they do fix the break, there's a period of time where that water has to flush, and they may even put a boil order in place to make sure that all the contaminants are out of that water, because when that water is exposed to the air and the elements, it gets contaminated. And if they're digging and cutting and mending, the tools, the oils, the chemicals they use can seep into the water. And it's not saying that our water really is perfect, and this is why we're doing the video right now. So I know a lot of people invest in the expensive Berkey systems. You can get the gallon ones, and I think they go up to 3 gallons, and some probably bigger than that. And you're spending anywhere in the upwards of $300 and up. For stainless steel, they have some glass ones. I prefer, that if we had to store water, we can store them in glass. I think glass is a great way of storing a lot of everything, water, your teas, your tinctures, all of that. But when you're on the move, we do know glass is not the thing to do, because glass can break. So when you go to campsites and stuff like that, and you want to get 5 gallons of water or something like that to hold you down, or you can dip into the lake or dip into the stream and get that water filtered, I'm about to show you how to do that, and or how to store water in your home in case something happens. And you can get you about 5 gallons out of your pipes before they shut down, or whatever the case. And remember, if something really happens and you run out of water, people hate, they go, ugh, but you got clean water in your toilet tank. And remember, you have a lot of reserve water still sitting in your hot water tank that you can drain off, when it really comes down to that. But today we're going to make our own Berkey today, and we're going to make it very cheaply, very inexpensive. This whole thing that I got that I'm going to show you right now is just 2 food grade buckets, number 2. So look at the buckets, and let me show you. Here are the buckets. Let me back you up. All right. So I got these buckets from Home Depot. You can get these buckets from Lowe's, and you want to make sure that they're food grade and they have the number 2. The number 2 on the bottom. I've already pre-drilled this hole, but it should be a number 2 on there, if you can see that. And the same for the lids. Everybody thinks you got to get these white lids. You don't. As long as they're food grade rated and they have that number 2 on them. I'm trying to get that in the camera to see if y'all can see that, but let me back it up. Where is it at? So it's about right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But anyway, that's what you want to look for. They're going to have number 2 on it. Now, I have been looking into this. I've been going down the rabbit hole. And there are a lot more other types of food grade plastics that you can actually use. I mean, if you're just storing water. So we're going to get into it. So you're going to need 2 buckets. They're going to run you maybe about, in today's economy, maybe about, what, 22 bucks or something like that. You're going to need a drill. I like the step bit, and I'm going to show you why I like using the step bit. You're going to need a 3/8 bit or a 9/32. You can get that. You can order a spigot. You're gonna need a spigot for the water to drain, when you wanna, drain your water and drink it and all of that. And these come in a kit. And you can get this kit off of Home Depot. And it comes with the spigot like this, so this came with black and white spigot. So you get this, you get the lock washer, and you get the rubber washer, the water seal washer that seals it. So I'm gonna show y'all how to put this together real quick. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. Y'all like, how do y'all filter? And I know I'm bending down, but I'm trying to do my best camera work one-handed. You're gonna also need your filter. All right, you can order these off of Amazon. They have some that even come if you're trying to do a plastic bucket kit. Do not buy the plastic water bucket kits off of these sites. They are way overpriced, and you could do it yourself. Some are as high as $200 and above just for them to give you a filter and the 2 buckets that I showed you. The most expensive thing that you're going to spend is the money for the filter. This does 100,000 gallons of water, and it is 99.99%. It takes out 99.99% contaminants. Now, with this particular one, I'll put a link in my description, because I don't have a lot of followers. YouTube gets kind of finicky when you put up links and stuff like that. They always tell me, hey, but I'm gonna still put it up for you, and you can get these off of Amazon as well. I have 2, but this is made for actually doing the bucket systems, and one will suffice for 100,000 gallons of water. So why put 2 in there and run through both of them at the same time? You see what I'm saying? A lot of people run more filters for one reason is, remember, this one filter has got to drain 5 gallons of water, right? So the point behind why a lot of people run more than one filter technically is because the water drains down faster, and because it drains down faster, you're getting more gallons, more ounces, I should say, more ounces of water coming down into your 5-gallon bucket. So yeah, the downside is when you only use one filter, it's going to drain down. It's going to filter the water, but it's going to drain it down much slower than it would if you had 2 or 3 or 4 filters in there. And if you have 3 or 4 filters in there, it's going to fill up a lot faster. You might end up with 2.5 gallons or 3 gallons before you know it, versus this might, within 10-15 minutes, it might get you a gallon. If you fill these 5 gallons up, fill this 5-gallon jug all the way up, you might get a gallon in 10 or 15 minutes. It just depends. As they break in, they'll start draining a lot faster. They'll start going a lot faster. So just keep that in mind. These will kind of discolor a little bit, and it's because they use a type of I forgot what it's called. It's like a coating, like almost like a shrink wrap type coating, to preserve the filter. And what happens once you introduce it to water and the chemicals in the water and all that, it'll kind of oxidize a little bit. It may turn orange, or a little orangey, or a little brownish, or whatever. It doesn't mean it's bad. Don't panic. Don't say, oh man, I got a bad filter. That's just how it's made. The water will still be fine. The water will still be drinkable, and you will still be able to use, run through 100,000 gallons of water roughly, depending on what you're putting in it. I wouldn't advise you putting muddy water in it and all of that. Try and get your water as clear and as clean as possible. Don't pour water anywhere near any major factories where you're seeing oil or that, oils or discoloration floating around in the water. You do not want to drink that water. Some people I've seen dip water from boat piers, you know, where people park their boats. Well, I mean, you got diesel and gasoline and oils dripping all in that water. Why would you dip from there? You know what I mean? So right now I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm trying to get the best camera angles for all of that, and we're going to walk through it, okay? So there you go. Hopefully y'all can see. So first thing first, you saw that I had this bucket, right? This bucket is going to be our filler bucket, the top bucket. So what you're typically going to do is turn this bucket upside down. Let me see if we can back it up a little more. You're going to turn this bucket upside down. You're going to take one of the lids. You see it's already pre-drilled. I did this for the sake of time in the video and all of that. You want to make sure before you use these buckets that you clean them. Use vinegar, use cleaning vinegar, or bleach, and just clean the bucket real good on the outside, especially the bottom here, inside. Clean your lids. And I like these lids too because they have a rubber seal in there. You see that rubber seal? That keeps out air and contaminants. So that's another good thing. And you want to clean this part of it. So you're going to take the bucket, turn it upside down like you see I have it on the table. You're going to take this lid, and I told you I've already pre-drilled, so let me find my hole here. Bear with me. You're going to take your 3/8 drill bit or your 9/32. Put it into the drill, and you're going to take the lid. You're going to take this lid, and you're going to turn the lid, not this way, not like you covering it up. You're going to flip the lid upside down. You're going to set it upside down on this bucket, on the bottom of the bucket. So you're going to, again, turn this bucket upside down. You're going to take a lid. You're going to take the lid and put it upside down on the bucket. And you're going to drill your hole. So you drill in, come out. You're going to make sure that there's no burrs. You know, like sometimes when you drill, there's pieces of plastic and stuff kind of hanging off. You want to clean all of that off. Make sure there's no burrs or anything that could get into your water bucket. You're going to do the same thing on the bottom of the bucket. So you're going to come back to the bottom of the bucket. You're going to make sure all the burrs are cleaned off. You're going to check inside the bucket and make sure there's no burrs laying inside the bucket. Looks like we're good. Now, once you do that, you're going to take your filter. Your filter is going to come just like this, all wrapped up and sealed. It's going to come with 2 rubber washers. One is going to go on the inside, and one is going to go on the outside, and it's going to come with a locking nut, a locking washer. So, keep in mind, again, that this is the one that's going to be, taking care of your water and everything. Hold on, guys. I got to pause. I got to call. Okay, we're back. So, anyway, now that we have the 2 holes, we're going to install this filter in the bucket. It's coming down good. I know y'all guys can hear that. So, we're going to take the first washer, and we're going to slide it on where it's flush. I'm leaving the plastic on, and that's something else I want to tell y'all. If you're not going to use it right away, at least keep the filter and everything covered up, even if it's in the bucket and it's still covered. If you're not going to use it right away. And then also cover up the nipple of it too if you can, if you're not going to use it right away. So now what I'm going to do, see that hole? We're going to take this and we're going to insert it. Now I did mine like that, a little snug. You don't want it loose, get, semi-snug. You're going to take your second washer and you're going to put it on. Right? And no, don't do that. You're going to take the top, put your top on. Remember, the top goes on upside down. There it is. And now you're gonna take this other washer. And you're gonna put it on like that. And you're gonna take your locking nut and you're gonna put that on. And you just tighten it up. Get it snug. Don't over tighten it, but just get it snug. All right. Now, once you got it snug, that's how it's going to look in there. Remember this nipple I said, if you're not going to use it right away, get you some plastic wrap or something, just cover it up, saran wrap or something like that, and just keep it covered up if you're not going to use it right away. Now, that's the first part. Now we're going to go to the second part. I like these step bits for the type of, let me see the water outlet I got here. This is, actually, of course, no diss to anybody, but it's made in China and they don't have the spec on here, but this looks like it's about a 3/8 or 3/8 or a 5/8 type spigot, right? So what I did, I like the step bit. If you look on the side of these step bits, they have little measurements on them. So I went to, I drilled down to number 4. So I count them like this. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. I'm sorry, that's 1 space, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to be about right here on that. Can you guys see that? Right here. And you're going to put it in your drill. And I'm just using that for reference as to how wide this is, the hole, how wide in circumference you're going to have to make your hole to get this to fit in. And of course, I already pre-drilled that hole. There it is. It's still got little burrs I got to clean out. But what I did was I went in, I drilled a hole, and I stopped around about 1, 2, 3, that fourth one. And I came out. You don't force this. So when you do this, when you use these, you want to just put a little force on it and drill slow, 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 slow. Look at where you at. Try and count where you at. Even if you have to pull it back out and see where you're at, you go back in. And if you're unsure, if you want to go 2 or 3 at first and see if this will fit in the hole that you made. If it doesn't, then you could go another step, pull it out, go in and see, and so on. But for me, it was the 4th one. So now this comes with a gasket. Like I said, they got a black or a white one. I guess because the bucket's white, I use the white one. You take the gasket. The gasket is tapered. You see how it's tapered? How it has like a kind of a cone shape going that way? It's tapered. So what you want to do is you want to take the flattest end of the washer and push it on here. You want to push it down real good, right? And the reason why is because this is going to stop the water from leaking out of the bucket and keep bad things from coming into the bucket. So I see I have some burrs here that I need to get rid of, so I'm trying to get rid of those now. I already have one in there ready to go, so there we go. But for the sake of the video, there it is. So like I said, in the kit you're going to get the spigot, the tapered washer, and the lock nut. So now we're going to, still a little burr here. You're going to take this and you're going to run it in here. Now you can push or you can screw it in. And then you're going to apply your little lock nut. And you can get it hand tight, you know. If you want to wrench it a little, I wouldn't recommend too much, but that should work, right? Now you have that, right? So now, the bottom bucket, this bucket, is going to be where the water collects. So now, remember what I told you about this? This is this part of the bucket. Let me back you up some more. You're going to take this, because remember, we put the lid on upside down, right? But it's going to be right side up as it goes onto your collection bucket. Boom. There it is. Now, all you got to do is fill this part with water. Allow the filter to do its work. This holds 5 gallons. 5 gallons will slowly trickle down through your filter into the lower part of the bucket, which is your collection part. This is where your clean drinking water is going to come from. And then all you got to do is press or pull up, you know, and drink your filtered water. And just remember what I told you. You know, one filter is going to drain, allow 5 gallons of water from the top end of the bucket to drain a lot slower. Let me see if we can move this telescope up a little bit. It's going to allow your 5 gallons to drain a lot slower down. So anytime you want to change the filter or change it out, all you got to do is unseal this, lift it up, take off the lock nut, unscrew it, pull your filter out, replace it, same way you did it with assembly. Put it all back together, put it back on here, fill it up, and then you take your other top. Now they have different types of tops, so you can use this kind of top, or I forgot the name of the other tops, but they're more of a secure top where most of them, I think they come blue or black, and they go over and you can kind of unscrew them from the top and pull the little cap off, fill from there, put the cap back on, screw them up. It's all up to you. I might go and look for one. I think I might like that a little better. I mean, but work with what you got, because things get expensive and they're getting more and more expensive. So let's say the whole thing, counting the filter, might have ran me $50. So $50, and I'm kind of reaching up there, because the filter itself was probably around about 30 bucks maybe. They had some that were even as high as 60 and 70 bucks. So it just depends on what you're looking for. You can also do these with Berkey filters. You can actually buy the Berkey filters that they use in the Berkeys and do the same thing that I just did. If you just want to use Berkey filters, you can do that. And again, you close this up, you seal up your water at the top. So that's how you're gonna look. I know I'm a little primitive today. I don't have no camera help today. My wife's in a meeting. But anyway, that's what we're looking at, guys. How did that get in there? Always something want to come into the scene. But anyway, it's just another stand for the camera. But that's it, man. I hope you guys learned from it. If you got any questions, hit me up. And remember, collectively sustainable is what we do. You know, that's our crew. I'm getting ready to get some t-shirts for Big and All Outdoors. I'm actually looking for a graphics designer. So if anybody know anybody, just hit me up and let me know, because I got some ideas, 2 or 3 different ideas I want to do for Big and All Outdoors. And join Farm Fresh 24/7. It's on your Apple and iPhone Play Store. Just go into the Play Store, download that, and connect with your community, with local growers, bakers, and farmers, and people like me that do stuff like this. And I'll see y'all on the next one.